All right, let's jump right in. Today, we're going deep into how group tours are marketed.
Oh, yeah, this will be fun.
It will be. We've got this awesome guide from Indus Travels, and they really know their stuff when it comes to group trips. So, listeners, get ready to see what goes on behind the scenes.
Yeah, it's a whole lot more than meets the eye. This isn't just about throwing some ads out there.
It's got to be more targeted than that, right?
Absolutely. You really have to know the traveler like inside and out and make the whole experience feel like it's made just for them.
I see. So it's less about just like a generic message and more about a connection.
Right. You've got to build that relationship, tell a story, make people really want to go on these amazing trips together.
Makes sense.
The guide calls it integrated marketing, which sounds kind of jargony, I know, but think of it like an orchestra.
Okay.
All the instruments are different, but they're playing together. So like social media is your trumpet, email is the violin, and you need them all working together to create one amazing sound.
They've all got to be in sync to really get the traveler's attention.
Exactly. And that goes for everything. Social media, emails, your website, even offline stuff like travel fairs. It all has to be saying the same thing.
So that the traveler is getting that same message no matter where they see it.
Yes, it's all about that consistent brand message.
Okay, that makes a lot of sense. But wouldn't you have to really know your audience before even starting with all that?
Oh, 100%. If you don't know who you're talking to, it's like trying to hit a target in the dark.
Right, blindly throwing darts.
Exactly. Travel companies are getting really good at figuring this part out, though. They're using surveys, watching what's trending on social media, and even looking at what their competitors are doing, all to understand traveler demographics and psychographics.
Okay, hold on. Demographics I get, but psychographics.
Yeah, so demographics are things like age, location, that kind of stuff.
The basic facts.
Right. But psychographics get into the why. Why do people travel? What are their motivations? What kind of experiences are they really looking for? That's the good stuff.
So it's like, scrolling through Instagram and seeing those amazing photos from far-off places. Or taking a survey that asks about your dream vacation. That's what they're using to build those traveler profiles.
Exactly. It's all about understanding what makes people tick, what gets them excited to travel.
I can see how that would be super valuable for a travel company. But how do you stand out when there are so many options?
Good question. And that's where the unique selling proposition comes in.
USP.
Right, USP. The guide highlights Indus Travels, and what they do is really interesting. They don't try to be everything to everyone. They focus on what they do best.
Which is?
Customized group trips for affinity groups.
Okay, affinity groups, you're going to have to explain that one.
Sure. Think of groups with shared interests or connections, like alumni associations, professional organizations, even just a group of friends who all love, say, bird watching.
So it's like a regular tour group, but way more focused.
Exactly. Indus Travels takes that idea and creates an experience tailored to that group's specific interests.
So it's niche, but within the group travel world.
Exactly. Niche marketing at its finest. Like, imagine a group of history professors going to Italy. Instead of just the typical tourist spots, Indus Travels could plan a trip with things like, exclusive tours of ancient Roman archives.
Wow. That's pretty niche.
Right. Or they could even set up lectures from leading historians, maybe a private dinner at a palazzo from the Renaissance. Who knows? The possibilities are kind of endless.
It's like they're making a textbook come to life.
Yeah, exactly. And that's what makes them stand out, that level of customization. But you still need to tell people about it. Even with a great USP, you need good marketing to get the word out.
So how do they do it? Just more ads?
Well, the guide gets into some pretty cool tactics. And it goes way beyond just a flashy ad, It's all about engaging people, like really getting them interested.
Okay, I'm intrigued. What kind of stuff are we talking about?
Think storytelling, like blog posts that transport you to these places, or videos, really beautiful, captivating stuff, or even a webinar where you're virtually exploring Machu Picchu with an archaeologist.
I can see how that would be way more effective than just a banner ad.
Right. It's about sparking that wanderlust, making people feel like they're already on the adventure.
So it's less about selling and more about inspiring.
Yeah, exactly. And then there's the whole niche marketing thing we were talking about, like Indus Travels focusing on affinity groups. They're not trying to to appeal to everyone. They're talking directly to, say, those bird watchers or history buffs with content that really resonates with them.
And because they know them so well, they can create campaigns that are super effective.
You got it. It creates that sense of belonging and shared experience, which is especially appealing for people traveling in a group.
Right, because you already have that common ground.
Exactly. But then you add technology into the mix and things get even more interesting because now you can personalize those experiences even further.
Yeah, the guide talks a lot about that. It's not just about having a website anymore, right? It's about using data and all these tools to actually create those super personalized travel journeys. I'm a little skeptical, though, I'll be honest. Can technology really replace the human touch?
That's a good question. And sure, nothing can really replace that magic of discovering something new on your own. But tech can definitely make the whole experience better. Think about it. You've got CRM systems that remember your past trips and use that data to recommend itineraries just for you.
Yeah.
Or AI-powered chatbots on travel websites that answer your questions instantly.
So instead of spending hours looking through websites and reviews, you get suggestions that actually match what you're looking for.
Exactly.
That's pretty cool, actually. But what about getting stuck in a filter bubble? Where you only see things that you already like. Do you miss out on those hidden gems?
That's a good point. It's something to watch out for sure. But technology can also help you broaden your horizons. Like imagine an app that knows your travel history and suggests destinations that are a little outside your comfort zone, but still align with your interests.
So it's like a balance between personalization and still having those serendipitous discoveries.
Yeah, that's the sweet spot. Using technology to make things better, but not letting it take over completely.
But all this talk about personalization, data,
Yeah.
could travel become too, I don't know, manufactured?
It's a good question, something to think about for sure. I think the key is for companies to use tech in a way that's both helpful and ethical. It's about enhancing the travel experience, not trying to control it.
It's a tough balance for sure. But moving on a bit, the guide also talks about having a solid marketing process.
Yeah.
Because it's one thing to have good ideas, but you need a way to actually put them into action.
Right, you need a system.
It all sounds very corporate, though. Do you really need so much structure for creativity?
Yeah. It might seem that way, but I think a good process actually makes you more creative. Think about it. If you're always scrambling to get things done, you're not going to have the headspace for those really innovative ideas.
Okay, so a process helps you to focus.
Yeah, it helps bring order to all the chaos so you can spend more time on the stuff that really matters.
Instead of just like winging it.
Exactly. So, companies like Indus Travels, they have this roadmap for all their marketing efforts.
They've got it all planned out.
Yeah, they might have like a content calendar that maps out all their blog posts, social media updates, email campaigns, all weeks or even months in advance.
So everyone knows what's happening and when.
And it keeps that flow of content going, keeps people engaged.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
But how do they know if any of this is actually working?
Well, that's where measuring success comes in. The guide talks about the need to track things like website traffic, how many people are booking tours, what kind of engagement they're getting on social media.
It's not enough to just put the content out there. You have to see how people are responding.
Exactly. And then make adjustments along the way. It's like a constant feedback loop,
Yeah.
always refining and improving.
So for companies like Indus Travels, all this data helps them see what's working and what's not.
Yeah, and it helps them prove that their marketing is actually valuable, They can show how it leads to more bookings, more brand awareness, all that good stuff.
So for our listeners out there, what's the big takeaway here? How does understanding all this marketing stuff actually help them have better travel experiences?
That's a great question. I think it's about becoming a more informed traveler. The more you understand how these companies are trying to reach you, the better you can see those marketing messages for what they are and make more conscious decisions about the trips you choose.
So it's about being more in control of your travel experience, not just going with whatever's put in front of you.
Exactly. And don't be afraid to get involved. Ask questions. Share your feedback. Connect with those companies on social media.
Because they're listening.
Oh yeah, your voice matters. And it helps shape the future of travel marketing.
So, listeners, speak up. This has been a really interesting deep dive. We've learned a lot about how group tours are marketed, especially with companies like Indus Travels. They're really focused on those personalized experiences.
Yeah, it's all about understanding the traveler, coming up with that unique selling proposition, embracing technology, using it in a smart way.
And with niche marketing becoming more and more popular and this push toward more personalized travel experiences, it's exciting to think about where things are headed.
It is. And how technology is going to shape those trends, that's a big question.
Definitely something to keep in mind as you plan your next adventure.
And if you want to learn more about Indus Travels and how they do things, head over to their website. Lots of good info there.
Until next time, happy travels.